This is Paul. Yes. Um, I reset my phone because I'm down to 7% battery. Yeah. And I'm thinking I'm going to run it down to 0%. So I may only have one or two more videos, but I don't know how long the battery will last. hmm Now, just looking at those amendments, I'm kind of thinking that there is some some need to be able to use the judicial system. Yeah. Now we were at amendment number 4. Yeah. hmm Then there's amendment number 5. Yeah. No person shall be held to answer for capital, otherwise infamous crime, unless on a presentment or indictment of a grand jury, except in cases arising in the land or naval forces or in the militia when in actual service in time of war or public danger. Now, I mentioned this land and naval force known as generals and admirals. Yeah. And then the militia and the National Guard. I know there are a lot of Americans that are concerned, and I've noticed the number of militia that call themselves militia. But really, I think we have like 1.2 million individuals employed in the military. Yeah. Now, I just kind of wanted to know, nor shall any person be subject to the same offense to be twice put in jeopardy of life or limb. Yeah. But without prejudice, obviously, you could open the case again. Mm. Now, this use of mental health evaluations, yeah, without evidence, without probable cause, yeah, and without witnesses, because I wasn't in Squim and I wasn't in Brennan, Washington. Um, I think that you actually are trying a person twice for the same offense. See, without prejudice means that you can bring it back up in the next trial. Yes, the next arrest. Oops. But without the omitting of any evidence, without probable cause, without any witnesses, this use of the mental health evaluations, yes. Here's something from the state of Washington Department of Social and Health Services. Yes. Western State Hospital. Could you get me those state hospitals? I understand it's an older building, and there is the Forensic Mental Health Evaluation Report, complete Office of Forensic Mental Health Services. Without the police or sheriff's departments admitting the evidence that I wasn't in Brennan, yeah. Without an actual signed statement under the penalty of perjury of a citizen or a police officer, yes. Without any probable cause and without me being able to call in my defense, right, witnesses in my favor. Now, this document has been released only to the court and other persons legally authorized to receive it. Did anybody receive this document when I put it on my drives? It was intended for their use only, and I just wanted to know every IP address and every individual. Yes. That when I scanned it in, yes, and I put it on the drive, and then I included a link to the drive, yes. Approximately how many individuals worldwide have a copy of this? Yes. Now I know you said, well, I can't release it, but I did. Oh, I released it to prove that you're violating the Fifth Amendment right to not be subject to the same offense or to be twice put in jeopardy of life or limb. See, the actual suggestion for restoration, yes, was that it was going to cost me life or limb because you had said that my restoration involved the admitting of psychotropic medication against my will. Oh, now let's say I sued you each and every state of the United States because I want to know all these dismissals where it was without prejudice. Yes. Could you go through every district court and every superior court of the United States of America? Yes. Where the judge said, well, we can admit wrongdoing. Yes. We can't admit that we didn't have a prima facie case prosecuting attorneys. Yes. We can't admit that we didn't have any actual witnesses. Yes. In fact, we can't admit that was a false arrest and there was no probable cause for the arrest. Yes, yes. Now, I know it sounds somewhat redundant, pooch, but when I give you the actual evidence that I wasn't here, yes. And then I tell you where to get the evidence from the bus surveillance camera footage, yes. And then I told you that I was in the library that whole day and I provided a screen print of the actual email that I sent at 4:48 p.m. Yes. Yes. Your answer to your problems was to say I was incompetent and dismiss the case because I was not competent to stand trial. Now, this report of the competency evaluator, who is a professional person, yeah. The city of Squim is a plaintiff, myself as defendant, yeah. I'm kind of thinking that when you said the defendant is not competent to stand trial, yes, yes, yes. I think that you violated the Fifth Amendment right to not be subject for the same offense twice. Yeah. And then when you arrested me for the failure to appear on a $500,000 bail bond, yeah, without any law enforcement involvement, with this being the district court case number, yes. And then being on personal recognizance since the 19th day of September of 2017, yes. And then Mindy Walker signed the dismissal without prejudice, yes. I noticed that I had actually been in Port Angeles. Now, this, and this, right. We know, that I'm not incompetent. You did not have a prima facie case because you did not have sufficient evidence. Yes. You did not have probable cause because I was sitting in Port Angeles, Washington on June 16th of 2017. Yeah. And there were no witnesses present because I wasn't in Brennan, and the emails I sent approximately 2,000 of them that day, and about 1,500,000 of them in the previous 18 months. Yeah, yeah. It wasn't cyber stalking. Now, give me the prosecuting attorneys of each and every county of the United States. I'm going to want to know every time that you said without prejudice, and the defendant is incompetent, pooch, without admitting any evidence, probable cause, or witnesses on the behalf of the defendant. Yeah. Now I'm going to sue you for violating that amendment number 5. Yes, because you are subjecting the defendants to the same offense twice when you say without prejudice the individual is incompetent, and we're going to use that right now. Give me all the without prejudice. Defendant is incompetent to stand trial. That's going to be a biggie, okay? As in a whopper. Ooch. Now I'm going to whop my sons right now. I mean, it's going to be a huge lawsuit. For courts to refuse to acknowledge the evidence, yes, and not require it before having mental health evaluations. Really, what you're doing is you're kind of spinning people around your court system right now. Oh, that's a big Amendment number 5 violation. I was subject, yes, to the same offense twice. And, ooch, there's a forgery. Oh my gosh.